Hello, Pretend football fans. Maul here with Maul's Minutes for Week 7 in the NJCFFL. Everything you need to know about the week that was in 7 minutes or less. Let's jump right into the action. Mikey Belt and the South Sharksville Gravy Legs headed to Nippon International. This is exhausting. Can the commish please force a name change here? Whatever. Nick Cage playing host for a humdinger. Josh Poopsmith Allen continued his good play with 28.25 points. And moving on up, Justin Jefferson added 17.9. Drake London Calling continued to impress as well, but the shardy combination of James Short Order Cook, Tony Real Italian Pollard, and Lade McConkey let Mikey down. Kylan's Nick Cages were up to the task. The trio of Jalen Hurts, face-off A.J. Brown, and Joe Planet Terror Mixon was more than enough to seal the victory. Nick Cage, 102.90. Gravy Legs, 98.25. Two of the youngest combatants in the league face off as the 51ers meet up with the Iranis. Oily Derrick Henry did it again for the Glorpers, racking up 26.7 points. But this game was all about the putrid, rancid, and otherwise not good play of virtually everyone else. The villain, 6 points down. Jemo the Jet, 10 points down. Wakanda's favorite, 5 points down. Ick. For her part, Coach Catherine made all the right moves. Sure, Matt the Chin Stafford had an off game, but super performances from Neon Keon Coleman and David Njoku were plenty. Add in a sprinkle of He Who Shall Remain Nameless, and it ends up a rout. Your MEs 97.40, 51ers 71.20. There have been few constants in the world this year. The leaves will fall, politics will split nearly every household, and the Choppers will lose. It was Coach Lewis in Droppin' Load's turn to whack a jet. Okay, it's not all bad. Breeze Dance Hall Days boogied out to 25.10 points, and Jordan Addison and Garrett Wilson met their expectations barely, but the rest of the roster is just misery. The Loads leapt at the opportunity to ram it in unprotected into their end zone. Lamar, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, went off for 41.25 points, and the Muffin Man, Brian Thomas Jr., caught 21.6. And yes, there are defensive player highlights in this game as well, as Terrell Bernard added 11 more. A walk in the park for the Loads, 111.55, Choppas, 81.10. What a way to end a winning streak. The Keys to Victory hosted the Tinky Winky Stinky Pinkies in a highly anticipated match, which most definitely did not live up to the hype. Both teams were bad, like bad, but one was worse. The Pinks were led by Bijan Mustard Robinson's 23.8 points, and the Kansas City Dream Kareem Hunt rolled for 21.3 more. We also had some kicker points in this one, folks, as Jason Myers booted 11.7 through the uprights. On the other side, it was a comedy of errors for the Keys. Take your pick. All but one player, Xavier McKinney, fell off their projections, but none more miserable than Andrew J. Dalton, the Red Rocket, who scored a negative point. Normal stars like Cajun King Kamara and Cinderblocks Jordan Mason were duds, and the lone undefeated team in the league falls are Pinks, 84.40. Keys, 45.95. The Tombstones traveled to the Pink Taco to face off against the Beavers in another high-powered affair. This one had all the makings of a classic, as Beavers star wide receiver George Tooth Pickens went all out for 21.6 points, while Where Art Thou Romeo Dobbs scored 13.4 more. Chris the Clog Boswell added 10.6 kicker points, and the Beavers looked to have a chance. But Coach Scott's dead men, some very, very dead, held them off. The New Order Kyron Williams held serve with 20.6 points, and Brian Robinson Jr. also scored well with 13.1. Brutal injuries to Brandon Ayuk and Chris Godwin looked to potentially sink their hopes, but they found salvation upon the foot of Dicker the Kicker. Yeah, baby, more kicker points, 17.4 of them to be exact, and the Stones keep pace with the top of the league. Tombstones, 104.75. Beavers, 91.90. The last game of the week is a runaway between the Cincinnati Heartbreak and the Funky But Lovin'. The Heartbreak have a fantastic roster, but they got scoring from some very unconventional paths this week. Yes, Terminator James Conner and Tank Big Gun Bigsby were the top scorers, but look at those defensive starters. Zaire Franklin and Jermaine Pratt outscored their projections by 9 combined. Brock Pretty Purdy was solid for Coach Andrew, as was Roquan Smith. Lots of defensive players in this game. But the Butts could not overcome Antonio Gibson and Darius Slayton's miserable showing. The Heartbreak climb into a virtual tie for first overall, 112.30, Butts 81.70. What an amazing week, PSBN fans. Stay tuned to the channel as Syke and I break down the matchup of the 3-3 Lakehurst Originals and the 3-3 Cumberland Crew, as well as the 3-3 Georgia O'Keefe Vagina Flowers and the 1-5 Cooter Wolves. Thank you for watching the show. If you enjoyed it, please take the time to click that like button, subscribe, or leave a comment. Here at the program, we live for your feedback, and it helps us to make this the best slate of programming for you, our loyal viewers. The mid-season is upon us. Fed will soon set in massively. What misery will next week bring? Tune in next week as we recap everything that happened during Week 8 in the NJCFFL.